Yes, yes. I can clear the everyone doubt after completion of this session. If you guys can send email and WhatsApp me to clear the doubts, but in this 1.5 hour session, all of you should be put in mute. Okay, doubts you can ping in chat after the session, or you can WhatsApp me, or you guys send me email, guys. Right, all of you seeing my screen, right?
Yes, I'm able to see.
Okay, thank you. People are joining. We'll wait 2 minutes. We'll start exactly 9:10. 2 minutes more to start. We'll start exactly 9:10. So people are joining. Okay. So we'll start. Right. First of all, guys. Right. First of all, you guys need to understand the first of all big data. First of all, so big data is a what is the meaning big data? So what is the things? I mean, what is this is a software or this is a database or this is a server or this is a application or web application what? So most of the people thinking big data is a database or is a data warehouse or is a right ETL or they are thinking different way. Big data is not a software, big data is not a database, big data is not application. The people we need to think that who are the people who knows SQL, RDBMS is there, same like that, big data is a concept. RDBMS is a concept. So big data is a concept. That's it. The meaning of the big data, obviously, you guys knows that large data. The large data means not in the KBs, not in MB size. It is the terabytes and petabytes, zettabytes, and more than that data. So whatever size of the data the client giving to you from his warehouses or from different sources, we will take that. The size is doesn't matter. You can take the large amount of data from the different sources. We will take that. But what is the purpose of you big data? I am telling the big data, large data. Yes. Why big data? Why big data mainly? The every industry has a maintain the large data, maybe so many industries, retail, e-commerce, CRM, banking, insurance, finance, healthcare, all these industries, they are running from last 20, 30, 40 years running the businesses. So they have a lot of data in their warehouse, not in the single source. They are maintaining the different databases and different database servers and different type of log servers. They are maintaining there for application for their storage. So like that, every industry maintain the big data. One day they need analysis, they need analytics to analyze the big data, to get the required data. You've seen that if you go to anywhere in the world, if any industry doing the big data analysis for their client, the reason only target of the project only to get the required information. Only required information from the large data. I want required information. That's it. With a less cost, with a high speed analysis, we need it. So we have a right here different tools are there big data analysis. Tools means in the world to analyze the big data, according to my knowledge, according to my experience, there is only two
Set it to
frameworks.
start.
There are two frameworks available in the world to analyze the big data problems. Okay. What is the two big data framework? What is the two framework? What is the two different tools? What are the two different softwares to solve the big data problems? I mean, to analyze the big data. Yes, obviously, the person who joined the big data project as a developer, his responsibility simply is analysis, analytics. That's it. The developer duty of the everyday project is going to apply the analysis skill or analytics skill on the big data to get the required information. So this is a way to get the required information only, guys. See that I was working since 2.5 years in this analytics and especially big data projects. 2.7, it's completely every day. What is my duty I seen from last 2.5 years? To get the required information, to retrieve my information with a different logic and different skill I'm going to apply on that big data to get the required information. That's it. Even if you playing as a senior developer also in the project, your target to analyze the client big data to get the required information. That's it. And most of the people thinking that big data is a software. I'm telling it's not software, it's a concept. I'm telling you again. So to solve this big data, I told you in the world only two frameworks, I mean two tools are there to analyze the client large data. That means to analyze your client's big data. Only one thing. Actually, Hadoop is their first who given that Apache company, they given the Hadoop software as an open source to work for big data. Yes, Hadoop is a software. It is not a database again. People are thinking Hadoop is using to create the database designing. Hadoop is using to create the data modeling. Hadoop is going to design the data warehousing. Not like that. Hadoop is just like a software. It is a tool. It is an analysis analytical tool to apply on this Hadoop software to apply this Hadoop software on the big data to get the required information. Yes. Every day I'm going to apply my Hadoop logic, my Hadoop skill on the big data to get the required information. And I said Hadoop is not a database. I said Hadoop is not a database designing tool. Hadoop is a software analytical tool to get the required information. And people immediately raise the question, where we will store the data? Where we will store the data? The client giving that large data, where will store the data? That is the main thing. Okay. SQL is there traditionally. SQL is also using for analysis, right? So many RDBMS technologies are there. I mean, so many SQL technologies are there. SQL, MySQL, DB2, MS SQL, Sybase. So many RDBMS technologies are there. Why not SQL to analyze the big data? Obviously, SQL using for limited database analysis and SQL using for structured data analysis only. If you apply the SQL on the big data, see that guys, if you apply the SQL on the big data, how much time will take it? Lot of time is wasting and cost also will be very high. Hardware limitation is there for SQL, right? So SQL is nothing to compare with this Hadoop software, guys. Actually, you can use SQL for limited and using for structured data analysis to get the required information. That's it. But when a client given that daily continuously is giving the data to me for analysis, yes, I can use Hadoop software which is given by Apache as open source. I am going to apply this Hadoop software on the big data to get the required information. But when the client giving the data, so where I need to store the data? First of all, where I need to store the data? You know, guys, every project will start with the kickoff meeting. Here also, big data project, if you involve from the scratch, there is a main one of the kickoff meeting is there before starting the work. What is that meeting? What is used at that meeting? Base definitely client. If you tell that how much data is giving to us for analysis, database size, that is the first. Every administrator, every developer, every architecture should know that how much data is going to giving by client for analysis and what type of format is going to give the data. Format of the data, guys. What is the format of the data going, guys? Client going to give it. Database size and format of the data. Yes, these two things should know that. Yes, once if we know these two things, we need to know what is the sources of the client data. Where is the data is there? What is the database size? What is the format of the data? What is the meaning of the format data, guys? Structure, unstructure, semi-structure, tables, logs, web logs, binary data, XML format, JSON files. What is the format of the client? And where is the source? What is the source names? You know, guys, big data projects, right? We are taking the client large data from the sources. In the world, only two types of sources. One is static sources, one is dynamic sources. If you're analyzing any client large data, if you're giving the data sources to you, either static sources, maybe dynamic sources. Some clients will give the both static and dynamic sources, they will give it. What is the static sources? What is the static sources, guys? All SQL databases are static sources. All SQL databases. What is the dynamic sources? Dynamic sources. Servers. Dynamic sources are servers. So the project beginning, if the administrator main is responsibility to know the client database size, format of the data. Yes, developer should know that. And what is the source? Where is the client sources? What is the names of the sources? Yes, static or dynamics. You know that 80% of the data now which you taking from the clients static. Why? We are analyzing the data last 20-30 years data. We are historical raw present data will take into the from SQL databases, that is from any MS SQL or DB2 Sybase or a MySQL. From any database we are taking that. The existing data warehouse they have, it may be clients maintaining that much of data. Yes, that's static. And dynamics servers, guys, which are live running servers. The server may be any application connection server, that is e-commerce application or CRM application or insurance application or banking application or right finance application, any domain application server, we can take that data. But whatever server data you are taking, that is 100% is unstructured data, whatever static data source you take in that is 100% structured data, no doubt about that. You've seen that. I will show you my project architectures also. Most of these sources are SQL, isn't it? 20% of the sources which I see in my experience, dynamic sources that are servers which are taken from the client source. Okay. So if you know the client database sources, where are you running that, and what that is static or dynamic or both, sometimes will receive the data from the clients. And database size. This database need to know by administrator first of all, not no need of a developer. Because if administrator know the database size, he will decide how many number of nodes needed to prepare to store the big data. Point, guys. Every project I told you in the kickoff meeting, DB size, if administrator knows or client mentioned to us, and admin, the senior administrator who is experience of networking guy and who is experience of infrastructure management, that guy will decide to prepare the storage. That is called, we are calling, what is that? In the world, if you want to analyze the big data, we have only one component in the world, that is distributed file system. Without distributing file system, there is no big data analysis. Yes, without distributing file system, there is no big data analysis anywhere in the world. Yes, 100%, guys. Hadoop founder very clearly said that if you want to use my software, if you want to use Hadoop software to analyze the large data, you guys prepare first HDFS. HDFS means what? It is not preparing with a single machine, or it is not preparing with the right and standard. It's multiple file system. It is multiple machines to store the large data. Without distributing file system, there is no possibility to analyze the big data. Even Hadoop will not do anything. The software will not do anything. The distributing file system should be there to store your data. So we are going to process, right? Once you take in the big data to the HDFS, then we will apply the Hadoop framework on the HDFS to get the required information. The first, in the project beginning, your responsibility as a Hadoop developer to pull the data from the client source to the HDFS and client source to the HDFS. Static means SQL, dynamic server to HDFS. These are the duties of Hadoop developer. If you involve in the project from the scratch, we are going to pull the data from the client source to the HDFS. This is one of the main responsibility of the Hadoop developer. But you need to ask me question. The client source, where is that? Everything is the cloud, guys. Present and coming future, everything is going to be cloud big data analytics. Nowadays, no one is not ready to prepare the own premises to store the HDFS, to prepare the HDFS, to store the big data. Everybody is going to depend on the cloud services. I told you we are going to prepare the HDFS for client database storage, isn't it? Who will give the HDFS? Suppose the client meet you to do, please analyze my big data. If any, suppose example, Walmart is there. They met you guys and they told you we will give the 200 terabytes, and tell me what is the next question. To store the 200 terabyte, how many nodes file system I want it? And immediately, maybe client, you have a chance, maybe client will prepare the HDFS from their premises and they will give the access to your company to analyze your data, to analyze their data. Isn't it? HDFS either in your premises, either in the client premises. If it is in the client premises, we will take the access through the cloud to our machines and will work very user friendly with the different distributors to analyze the big data. So what I'm telling that once administrator know the DB size, and he will decide that distributing file system with the replication. Remember, when administrator decide to prepare the HDFS, not only to store the actual storage, guys, with the replication also he will decide. Production cluster always with the replication tree only he will be using to prepare the distributing file system. Why? Because production cluster is not a single node or two nodes, it will be multi-node cluster. If you ask me my present project, HDFS size 75 nodes cluster. I'm including master machine also, guys. The people who are asking you, suppose you guys in Hadoop project or Spark project, what is your HDFS size? So immediately you can say that including the master machine also. That I'm telling you my point of view. 75 nodes cluster in my present project. 74 are slaves. One machine is the master. We're analyzing the almost 120 terabytes. So whatever, once HDFS is ready, once you pull the data to the right SQL to the HDFS and what is that server to HDFS. Whatever client given the data, first we need to pull the data completely to HDFS. Sometimes client, they have a existing data, we will take all the data to HDFS, then we'll start the analysis, then we'll start the development. Isn't it? Maybe you're running Scoop, you're running Flume, that complete data taking to HDFS, maybe it will take 1 month or it will take 2 months. Client continues to give the data. Why? Because the requirements can change at any time by client, because we are following the agile methodology, not waterfall methodology. I think most of the people knows that what is the waterfall methodology, what is agile methodology. Big data projects, most of the industries following that agile methodology, that is a Scrum. The project beginning from beginning to the at end of the project, the complete process using by methodology, that is the agile methodology following by most of the industries, guys. From data importing onwards, for data analysis onwards, for data exporting onwards, we are following the completely only one methodology for the big data project, that is agile, that is called Scrum. So once the data taken to HDFS, then we'll start the who will import the data to HDFS, not administrator. Developer will pull the data from the client source to HDFS. If server or SQL database, any SQL database or any domain server, we will pull the data responsibility. You know that, guys. Big data analysis, big data project, only two operations doing by developer. Write the data, read the data. Yes, that's it. Your responsibility to take the data to HDFS, your responsibility to take the data to the HDFS. Isn't it, guys? So here ETL tools are there. Apache, given that in Hadoop framework, all are open source, right? Analysis tool given by Apache, data ETL tools given by Apache, right? Everything is given by Apache as open source. No need to go for license. Yes, to pull the data from right SQL database to HDFS, we are using what? Scoop. If you want to pull the data from server to HDFS, you are using what? Flume, right? When our client giving the running server, we will use a Flume to take the data to HDFS. And when our SQL database client giving that, we will pull the data to HDFS. What? How we will use that as developer? Yes, when the client database granted, okay, the client should give that database IP address. That is the mandatory IP address, and you should grant that all the privileges of his sources to pull the data from his source to the HDFS. Isn't it? Sometimes client will not grant all the tables to all the database to you. Maybe out of maybe 230 terabytes, maybe he granted 20 terabytes. Maybe he will faster, he'll grant it 10 terabytes. After that, he'll grant it 20 terabytes. Like that, he will give you that. Sometimes client will grant it all the database. But remember, when the scoop running that, the developer, right, he will not take all the database at the same time. He will take the account to the priority of the requirement. Based on the priority of the requirement, he will take the data to the HDFS using scoop. Isn't it, guys? How much time will take to pull the data? It will take hours, not minutes, guys. In the production, when you access the client server to HDFS, I mean client RDBMS database to HDFS, it is not in the minutes. It will take hours to data taken to HDFS. Depends on the network. Depends on the networks and depends on the cloud access which you are using that to take the data to HDFS. Already told you, HDFS not in your place. It is running in the cloud, guys. Remember. HDFS not in your place, HDFS running in the cloud. We are taking the HDFS IP address to access to my machines and to work for my project, my data analysis. So scoop is only for importing, exporting the structured data. Most of the people trying to transfer the MongoDB to HDFS. Scoop is not supporting JSON format. Scoop always structure format. That is obvious. Scoop source always is a static. That is any SQL technology. And when the client given the server, obviously server generating what data, guys? Logs data. Logs data always importing with the Flume only. Here you need to ask the question: Scoop fast or Flume is as fast? Flume is very slower than Scoop. Why? Because Flume connected with the dynamic source, that is a server, and Scoop connected with the static sources. Isn't it? Scoop is faster than Flume. My experience, I'm telling you. Yes, 100% Scoop is a faster because Scoop is connected with the existing database, but Flume connected with not existing server, right? The live data is taking continuously to the HDFS. Okay, just data pulling. So many people confusing that Flume is doing the streaming analysis. Flume is not doing streaming analysis, guys. Don't confuse them. Flume is only to pull the data. Server data as to be to take into the HDFS. Flume that doing that. According to the timestamp, it will store in HDFS by timestamp. Whatever server generating the data, it will put into HDFS. So the Scoop, Flume are the first two main duties of Hadoop developer when you involving from the beginning of the project. Isn't it? Database size, number of nodes, they're all caring by administrator, guys. To decide the number of nodes, administrator. Once HDFS ready, our responsibility to run the Scoop from the source, to run the Flume from the source, to take the data to HDFS. Isn't it, guys? The client always is at your place, guys. When you are working with the agile methodology, big data project, client is always available. In waterfall, client is not available. In waterfall, we are getting only one release, right? But agile methodology is not one release. It is a multiple releases, right? What a point, guys? Multiple release. See that every Friday evening, before leaving to my home, my team is going to leaving to home, right? We will send that our required information files to the client database. From HDFS to we will export it. We will constantly will not maintain our required files in HDFS. We will export to the client database. Monday to Friday, what are the requirements? We done it with my team, with iQueries, with MapReduce programs. The required informations, the required files will export to the client database. Once client approved it, we'll delete from HDFS and we'll get the storage. The best Hadoop developer, he will not store the output file constantly in HDFS until completion of the project. He will delete it when client approved your release. When the client approved your required file, you can delete it. What a point? Because we are paying the billing to the infrastructure provider. In entire Hadoop project, where is investment? Only to investment what? To prepare the distributing file system, guys. Everything is open source, but distributing file system only you need to invest it. To buy the storage, to buy the disks, to buy the nodes from the infrastructure providers. Who is the number one infrastructure provider in the world? AWS, Amazon Web Services. The cost wise, speed wise, access wise, network wise, the best number one infrastructure provider is the Amazon Web Services. Right? Some clients, they're maintaining their own storage with their own premises. Obviously, that is difficult. Depends on their, definitely it is big headache. Cloud computing is always no hardware, no software, no headache. So distributing files to most of the people using cloud with Amazon. Right, guys? So once developer pull the data to HDFS, right? Next, what is the responsibility, guys? First of all, remember, guys, see that HDFS, the master machine, wherever running that, the name node IP, right? Most of the people are asking that I told HDFS for storage. Who is the processing on the HDFS? This is the thing in Hadoop I'm telling you. I'm explaining Hadoop framework, guys. Don't confuse here. I'm not explaining Spark. The distributing file system, if it is working with MapReduce engine, we are taking the IP address of what? Job tracker node IP address, isn't it? This IP address will connect to the CDH or HDP, okay, and this will connect it to the CDH or HDP. Depends which distributor you are working for that. Most of the people confusing that what is a distributor. Platform distributor in the world, very right. Most of the industries using that. Hadoop software cloud platform provider Cloudera. It's a very user friendly. 80% of the industries big data analysis right platform is using that companies. The main provider is the Cloudera, right? That distributor Cloudera. And second priority, right, 30% of the industries using the second priority Hortonworks. Both are the open sources, guys. Okay, this Cloudera platform can connect to your, right, either AWS, right, if you're working with AWS, or if you're working with the Hortonworks distributor, you can connect to your AWS, maybe HDFS storage you're using from where AWS, we are connecting with the AWS instance, and here Hortonworks, we are connecting this distributors. These are the platform, guys. Cloudera, it's a very user friendly compared with the Hortonworks. Why Cloudera is a very number one actually? Cloudera security wise, encryption wise, very best for the platforms of big data analysis. That's why most of the industries and most of the industries using Cloudera, second priority Hortonworks. Whatever cloud using that, Amazon or VMware or Citrix, whatever infrastructure file using that from for your company, for your HDFS, we can easily connect to the Cloudera and work very user friendly, isn't it? And here I'm telling that the distributing files here, both IP address, if you want to access the AWS, they will give that your name node IP address and they'll give that your job tracker IP address. You know that MapReduce engine master machine. Here in Hadoop software, what is engine? MapReduce, guys. MapReduce engine, that's it, guys. Every Hadoop developer should follow the MapReduce engine. If you are very experienced, your 10 years experience in Java, doesn't matter. But you should follow the MapReduce API. According to MapReduce API, you need to run anything on this MapReduce engine. If you use your own language, it will not accept it. You should follow the MapReduce API when you want to work with this Hadoop API. Only MapReduce API, because HDFS default language is MapReduce. HDFS understands only MapReduce. Except MapReduce, if you run anything on this engine, everything will be converted into MapReduce program at compilation time automatically, because HDFS understands MapReduce program only. Isn't it, guys? So wherever HDFS and wherever MapReduce, I told you here, HDFS, MapReduce are both are in the same place, guys. If you are using infrastructure services from Amazon, they will maintain the HDFS, MapReduce in the same place. HDFS in some location, MapReduce in some location, not like that. Wherever HDFS is there, MapReduce also will be there, same place. Isn't it, guys? HDFS plus MapReduce equal to Hadoop. The combination of distributing file system and MapReduce is equal to Hadoop. MapReduce is executing the process, HDFS for storage, guys. When HDFS MapReduce is working together, then only we can write the data, then only we can read the data, guys. Writing means data pulling and reading means analysis. So both where HDFS master machine and right job tracker master machine MapReduce engine, both IP address will take from the wherever your service is using that, we will connect to the your distributor, that is a CDH we are calling very shortly, Cloudera distributor Hadoop platform, and this is also HDP Hortonworks distributed platform. So your IP address of the name node, your IP address of the job tracker, right, will be connected to the right your HDP, guys. And when administrator connected the name node IP address and job tracker IP address to the Cloudera, we will go to production environment, no doubt about that. Got it now? There is instances, maybe you know that EC2 instance, Elastic Cloud, right, instances will connect it. So with the instance, we will connect to the distributor, which version you're working that, and we work be very user friendly. Got it now? So this is maintaining by who? You are taking the service from AWS, that guys will maintain that, and administrator will monitor it, administrator will configure that, and as a developer, very user friendly, you will simply open this distributor and work it. You can run the program, you can run query, you can run script, you can run scope, you can run Flume. You're directly on the top of production cluster because your AWS access with IP address configured to the CDH or Hortonworks. Yes, guys. Right, guys? So wherever Hadoop running that, I mean HDFS or MapReduce, we will take the only two IP address, HDFS master permission name node, MapReduce master permission job tracker. These both IP addresses will be configured to the our distributor. We are using either Cloudera or Hortonworks. Will simply open the Cloudera distributor platform and work very user friendly. I will not bother about that. Where is my cluster running? Where is my data is there? I will need to bother as a Hadoop developer. My name node IP address is configured to my distributor or not. If the team want to go to production, administrator he should configure the name node IP address and he should configure the job tracker IP address to the your distributor. Then we'll go to simply production. When your HDFS access, when MapReduce access coming to the your distributor access happen, then obviously we'll go to production access and we'll do the analysis. Yes. We can simply open the browser. We can simply open the browser and check it. See that which I'm using in Office, Cloudera distributor environment, very user friendly. Right, see guys here my screen. So this is a CDH 5.2 which are using for our production. That everything is a complete platform which is all the Hadoop framework components configured, installed, and everything is a configured. Right? If anything you want to change the configuration, administrator can do it very easily. Right? When you working with Ubuntu, right, that is not user friendly. When you install Hadoop software just and Hadoop just to install Hadoop and Spark in Ubuntu, and if you work that is not real-time environment actually. When your machine, when your HDFS access, when your MapReduce access to the any distributor platform, that is very real friendly and that is a real environment. That means production environment. See guys, here UI simply open the browser. You can see here Firefox is there. If your HDFS wherever in the world, the simply I will enter my URL here to see my file system. I can see complete cluster summary, isn't it? You see that complete browse file system is there. I can see complete my file system. Right? If anything want to configure that, I have a Cloudera Manager is there. Why we need a Zookeeper? Zookeeper is already gone. Why means because Cloudera Manager already given by Cloudera company to manage the all Hadoop framework components. Right guys? To check your monitoring, to check your file system healthy or not, configuration, command checking, your job status, everything you can check in Cloudera Manager. Cloudera Manager is nothing but is a set of components management tool, guys. It's like a Zookeeper, you can treat like that. Very flexible for administrator. Cloudera Manager most of the times using by administrator, not developer. Developer always in where? In terminal, guys. See that. If you go to anywhere in the world, Hadoop developer, what they're doing in the front of the system, they always in the terminals. In the terminal only. Hive, Piggo, Scoopu, Flume, everything running in a terminal only. If you want to work with Hive, we'll go to simply Hive and we'll do analysis with Hive. If you want to analyze the pig, and simply go to Hive pig prompt grant and analyze the pig. If you want to analyze with HBase, and go to with HBase analysis. Everything in terminal only. If you want to run scope, terminal. If you want to run the Flume, in terminal. If you want to scheduling the requirements, terminal. Isn't it, guys? Everything in terminal only, guys. If you what you've done on the distributing file system, if you want to check it, you simply open the browser and check that your file system, whatever input file is there, whatever output file is there, you can simply check it. The same access is taken by client also, guys. Got it now? Suppose my client is Walmart, my HDFS running in Amazon AWS services with EC2 right or ST storage, and they are taking the access, and my team taking the access. They are checking everyday output file of my analysis, and my team also checking everyday output file analysis. But input is in HDFS, guys. Output also in HDFS. Remember, when analysis completed of your input file, once output file stored in HDFS, the output file also will transfer to the client database again. The approval will get from the client. Once client approved it, output file I will delete from HDFS. I will not maintain constantly, continuously in my HDFS. I need storage for the future requirement analysis. So we can check that very user friendly. Here, Cloudera Manager is there. It is opening now to access it right with the internet of the my Cloudera Manager cluster, 70 cluster. And if you want to go to HBase is there, right? If you want to check your name nodes are there, isn't it? If you want to check your read and cluster is there, everything you can simply open the browser, very user friendly. Simply, guys, enter the URL of your HDFS in the browser. And if you can see your MapReduce URL, enter the URL MapReduce URL here, and you can see the complete MapReduce UI, isn't it? So many people asking the question, sir, I run the 4 requirements, 4 programs at the same time on HDFS file, on different HDFS files. If you run it, you can check it. Where will check it? In MapReduce UI. If you run 4 jobs at the same time, which requirement is completed, which job is completed, which job is failed, which job is pending, how can you check it? You can simply open the MapReduce UI, the engine UI, MapReduce UI 50030 and check it. And which job is failed, which job is running, which job is pending. It is doing by every Hadoop developer to monitoring simply in the HDFS browser and MapReduce browser. See guys, here name node IP address, if you connect with the CDH or if you connect with HDFS, isn't it? The URL always port number in the production, we are using the always default port number 50070 HTTP colon, right, localhost colon 50070. This is the port number of the map in HDFS master machine UI. That means HDFS UI. HDFS UI and job tracker UI, job tracker node, that is the MapReduce UI. What is this? HTTP colon / localhost. In the production, not localhost, guys. In production, always IP address in the place of localhost to see your interface. That's developer need to know only 2 URLs when you working with Hadoop: HDFS URL, MapReduce URL. To check your file and file content, this URL. To check your job is running or your job failed, this URL. Simply monitor, very user friendly. I will not bother my cluster is where is running, how many machines live, how many machines dead. That is not my developer responsibility. My responsibility, I need to check my input file where in HDFS. I want to check my output file where in HDFS. I want to check my job is running, my query running, my programming running, or my pig script running, my HBase query running. It is running or failed or it is pending. You can simply enter this URL, check it. What do I find, guys? So these 2 URLs need to open always in your distributor. If you working with a CDH or if you working with a right Hortonworks, the same URLs always, port number always same, guys. This will be changing, guys. The IP address will be changing that always in the place of localhost, right? Here also same like that. So what I am saying that the cloud access with either HDFS distributor or Cloudera distributor. Remember, HDAP, CDH, not infrastructure providers, isn't it? Only platform as a services. Cloudera you are working or HDP you are using, Hortonworks you are using. Only platform. Infrastructure, we are connecting with the AWS services and we are connecting with your distributor, guys. Okay, guys. So what I am saying that simply that big data analysis, if you want to analyze it, distributing file system, MapReduce engine, MR, that is MRV1. This is the architecture of the project. Yes. What is distributing file system MRV1? That's it. Remaining all the subcomponent. In Hadoop framework, only distributing file system, MapReduce engine. If you want to work with the Spark project, what is this? HDFS plus Spark API. And actually before Spark, there is a Hadoop's latest engine distributing file system, right? Yarn MRV2. Big data analysis, only 3 architectures, guys, anywhere in the world. Either with MRV1 your distributing files should work with, either your distributing files should work with MRV2 Yarn, either should work with the Spark API. Here, which is these two architectures which I mentioned here, if you're working with this architecture, or if you're working with this architecture, or you're working this architecture, what is end of the project, guys? Here, 3 architecture I'm showing here, which is what is use of every architecture? Every architecture end of the target, what is the target of every architecture? Required information, required data, that's it. Your architecture will decide either MRV1 or MRV2 Yarn or Spark engine to analyze your big data. But end of the project, every day I'm analyzing to get the required information. But why we need to work with these two? Can you tell me, anyone here, what is the difference of this architecture? Here, if you work with MRV1, you are getting same output, guys. If you are working with this here, also same output. If you work with this architecture, you are getting same output. What is the difference? Here, these two architecture completely involving for disk analysis, guys, disk processing. Here, this architecture also for what? Disk processing. Yes, 100%. Distributing files, infrastructure of the Hadoop software, infrastructure of the Hadoop project, infrastructure of the Spark project, same, guys. No doubt, only API changing. Here, MapReduce API is there, but here Spark API is there. Distributing file system is a bottom layer, and top of distributing file system is that Spark engine is there, or MapReduce engine is there, isn't it? But here, if you work in these two architecture, distributing file system always default language MapReduce, guys. Except MapReduce program, if you run anything, everything will be converted to MapReduce program. Right, guys? So here MapReduce here always only supporting what type of analysis? If you using these two architectures, guys, leave it Spark now for a minute. See that here Hadoop will do what type of analysis? What type of analysis will do it with using Hadoop? Yes, batch offline. Yes. Next what? Batch online. This is the main thing, guys. What type of analysis you done in a project? People know understanding what is the big data, what is Hadoop, what are you going to do in big data from HDFS. Using Hadoop, we can analyze the HDFS data in offline, we can do online. You know that, guys, up to 2009, Hadoop is only offline analysis. In the time, no online analysis. Only offline analysis. If you go to for interview, can you tell me what is the offline analysis you done it? Can you tell me what is the components you using for offline analysis? What is the offline analysis tools? Hive, MapReduce program, Pig or offline analysis. Actually, up to 2009, Hadoop is only offline. In the time, no online analysis. What is offline analysis means, guys? What do you do in offline analysis? What is the drawback? Yes, offline analysis, the drawback is there. Offline analysis, no random reading, guys. No random reading. Anyone agreeing with this point or not? Anyone want to negotiate with this point? Hadoop is offline analysis, no random reading. 100%, no random reading. Yes. Maybe people raising the question, maybe what is the random reading? What is the random writing? What is the random reading and what is the random writing, guys? Random reading means if you hear what is here offline means what guys? Here the distributing file system people don't think like it's a database. Distributing file system just for storage. It's not a transactional database. It's not a OLTP. It's just storage in offline. Distributing file system prepared by with the machines. That's it. It's not a software just clicking next like not like that. It's just a file system which is prepared with a set of machines. In my home, I have 10 laptops. Suppose example, I can prepare the 10 nodes file system. Each machine I can take 2 terabyte or 3 terabytes. Distributing file system only offline. If you here distributing file system top, what is that? MapReduce is there to execute the process. So here HDFS MRE1 you work with that. HDFS with MRE2 and work with that. What we can do that? Yes, batch offline analysis we can do that 100%. But what is the meaning of offline analysis? No random reading and no random writing. What is the no random reading? No random reading because we are working on the distributing file system. Distributing file system is write the data once, reading the data many times, guys. That's it. This slogan is up to 2009. I'm telling you, Hadoop will do both offline and online. But in the starting days of the project, we done only offline analysis. In the time, online analysis component is not there. No random reading means what, guys? If you run the MapReduce program on HDFS file, suppose your HDFS file size 1 terabyte, the complete 1 terabyte file will be scanning that. That is a no random reading. Venkat, I mentioned where the city code Bangalore, only city column is reading. No, even if you mention where class also, where the city code Bangalore, it is not reading city column. The complete data set will be scanning that MapReduce engine. That is in MRE1 and MRE2 both. To solve this drawback, Apache given that component that is HBase. Using this, I can do analyzing the data in online. That means using HBase, I can analyze the data randomly. I can write the data randomly. Yes, guys. Yes, using Hadoop software, I can do online analysis, offline analysis. Offline analysis, what is that? Offline analysis tools, what is the components? Yes, I always, as a senior developer, as a data architecture, first priority, I will go for high query. Why? Instead of writing the 60-70 lines of the code, the query maximum I can write in 2 lines to analyze the data, right? To run the high query on HDFS, right? And I can run that, right? Next priority, MapReduce program. And people asking the question, sir, why are you going to high? Why not MapReduce? And MapReduce is the performance high. Yes, but why performance for MapReduce is the default language, but why not performance Hive? Hive is taking conversion time. Okay, how much performance? Hourly performance. Example, my experience, which I see in analysis. I analyze the one problem with the high query. Same problem I analyze with the MapReduce program. I run the MapReduce program. It taken the 8 minutes. Which one? MapReduce program taken to analyze my file. 8 minutes it taken that. Same requirement I solve in high query, right? It taken that 12 minutes. Not hourly, just minutes difference only, not hourly difference of the performance. If you work with the Hive or if you work with the MapReduce or you are working with the Pig or you are working with the Python in offline, minutes difference only. 100% MapReduce is performance, not high performance. Okay, performance is there, MapReduce not highly. Just minutes, 2-3 minutes difference I seen in my experience in my production cluster to analyze the large tables 1 terabyte, 2 terabyte, 5 terabyte, 50 GB, 70 GB files. Why? Because I've taken that minutes difference. Hive query taking the conversion as a backend MapReduce because HDFS understand MapReduce. So offline analysis, we are waiting high query MapReduce program and the pig script is there. This is running on HDFS. Pig also offline analysis, 100%. Big data analysis nowadays, 80% of the analysis, 90% of the analysis offline, online, guys. You remember point? Yes, 80% of the analysis offline, online only. That is MapReduce program, Hive. Very important. Hive, according to survey, most of the developers very happy to work with the Hive. Second priority, MapReduce. You know that the SQL, PL/SQL, if not in SQL, PLS will solve the problem. Here also, if the problem is not solving in high query, and 100% MapReduce will give the solution, because MapReduce program is a procedure language, Hive is a query language, right? So offline analysis, MapReduce, high query, Pig is there. Online analysis, HBase, guys. See that Hadoop framework, it is designed for to analyze your big data from HDFS in offline, in online. Tell me, guys, obviously in every project environment, right, offline analysis happening and online analysis happening. That yes, here I mentioned you in big data analysis only three types of architectures I told you. One is right HDFS MRV1, and I told you HDFS right Spark equal to distributing file system, right, plus yarn, right. What is that? Spark API, core API. See that these three architectures available, isn't it? If you work with this architecture, we can do analyze the data offline, we can analyze the data in online, and you can analyze the data here also with the yarn cluster also. We can do offline analysis and we can do online analysis here with this architecture also. If you work with this architecture, what we can do that? What is the highly specialty of this part? Yes, obviously the memory processing analysis, no doubt about that. Hadoop is disk processing analysis, guys. If you're working with MRV1 and MRV2, MRV1 means what? MapReduce version 1. MRV2 means MapReduce version 2, guys. Here, Spark, what will do that? Yes, Spark analyzing the big data offline as well as online, and the highlight of this Spark is doing streaming, isn't it, guys? Streaming is the specialty of Spark. People asking that streaming will not do the Hadoop. Yes, MapReduce API not built by founder for streaming. The founder given the MapReduce engine by right only for offline analysis, online analysis, and the streaming analysis not given by Hadoop software. Only streaming if you want to do, go with the Spark. See that in my experience, 90% of the project I analyze the data with Hadoop software. 10% of the project I went to for Spark in one client. Why? Because the client mentioned streaming. That is the reason I'm going to for Spark. If the client want batch offline, batch online, I will always refer this architecture to my client. HDFS MRV2 yarn, because cost wise best, isn't it? Now disk analysis, but disk is very cheap nowadays. Who is the king now? RAM is the king nowadays. If you want to analyze my data with the client, isn't it? Obviously, speed is very high, no doubt about that. Here, 1 year Hadoop project, Spark project finished within 6 months. Why? Because memory processing analysis, it high speed analysis, no doubt about that. But cost is very high. The billing is very high for the Spark to buy the RAM to analyze the big data. That's why the Spark selecting by client only the reason to for streaming, guys. Here, guide, if you anyone go for interview for a Spark specialty, they will ask you more questions on streaming only. Why? Because the reason they selected the client, they selected the Spark streaming. The client not mention we need offline analysis, online analysis with the Spark. The client mentioned offline analysis and online analysis with Hadoop software, and streaming they want in Spark. Why? Because streaming is not impossible in Hadoop, and that's why you are going to be using Spark engine. Spark specialty streaming engine that is doing in memory, offline in memory, online in memory using Spark, but disk in disk processing doing by Hadoop, right? That is doing offline, online. Yes, these three architectures available in the world to analyze the big data. That's it, not more than three. Spark with HDFS, MapReduce with HDFS. MapReduce has two engines are there. MapReduce 1, MapReduce 2. What do I mean, guys? Hadoop also nowadays, this architecture is very now most of the people using. Why? Because in this architecture, HDFS MRV1 engine, mainly the drawback, right? No high availability as well as no resource management. Scheduling is highly difficult to work with this architecture. No high availability, no resource management, guys. These are the two drawbacks of this architecture. Previously, 2008 to 2007, 2009 and 10, people are working this architecture. In that time, Yarn is not there. Yarn is only to work with the MRV2, guys. Yarn is not working with the MRV1 and defined by founder to work for MRV2 only. So issues are there in this architecture, MRV1 architecture. No high availability, no resource management. Jobs are fixed by slots based on the slots based only. If you run the 10 jobs, what is the first priority job? It is running, and second 9 jobs will be in the queue. The default scheduling always following this architecture where this is a FIFO, first in first out job scheduling. But here in Yarn cluster, not like that. You can run the multiple jobs at the same time. Why? Because in this architecture we have a resource management. Resource management, what is it, guys? The CPU RAM management, guys. Resource management means what? The CPU RAM needed to allocate the job to run the job. Resource management is there. High availability is there in the architecture. That is the reason most of the industries using this architecture for analyzing the big data in offline and online using this Hadoop software, especially the engine is MRV2 and Yarn. Okay, guys. The point all of you following that. Lot of things I need to tell the guys. So I will take up to 10:30. Okay. See that the architecture, whatever you selected, MRV1 or MRV2 Yarn or Spark you selecting, but the client need required data. That's it. And people confusing that Hadoop is using for reporting tool. No, 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 no. Hadoop is not reporting tool. Spark is not reporting tool. I told you already in the beginning of the class here. The only to get required information. That's it. Not reporting. Apache still now it is not giving any business intelligence to make a report. It given only right analysis analytical tool to get the required information only. That's it. Hadoop or Spark not for reporting to get the required information. Then required information will send to the client database to make a reports with the business intelligence. Nowadays, very hot cake in the market. The BA tool is W, ClickView are very demanding in the license versions. Okay. So anyway, here the reason to go migrate to Spark only streaming purpose, guys. If you want offline analysis, online analysis, Hadoop already there. So that's why Spark will never replace the Spark will never replace the Hadoop, guys. People, so many people articles, so many discussions I am seeing in the LinkedIn profiles and like Spark will never replace, right? Yes, Spark will replace the MapReduce. How can you say that it replacing MapReduce? Right? Spark API came from the MapReduce only engine. So Map API, Reduce API, you should always going to base Spark engine API. That's why reason Spark will never replace Hadoop. Right? Scoop needs Spark, isn't it? Scoop is needs Spark to pull the data to HDFS with the using Scoop. But Scoop is not belongs to Spark framework. Scoop is belongs to Hadoop framework. Flume is belongs to the Hadoop framework. Hive is belongs to Hadoop framework. So how Spark will replace Hadoop? Hive need for Spark project, right? Spark need Scoop for right. Spark need Flume, right? How? So the very important architecture, this architecture is very important. HDFS, MRV2, Yarn, disk processing analysis, right? Offline analysis, online analysis. The highlight of this architecture, we have a resource management. How much RAM, right? Continuously allocating, deallocating, allocating, deallocating. The job no need to be in the queue. Suppose my team is 11 members, guys. We are running continuously jobs every day. We will not bother about my job is running. My job is in the queue. Every job is running that right continuously. Job is completing. Resources will be deallocating automatically. And another job also running that. Isn't it? Resource management is there. High availability also there in this architecture. That's why very popular architecture for big data analysis, HDFS MRV2 Yarn. If you want to analyze the data offline, online, that's why reason to go for this architecture, guys. Okay. Still, guys, till date, I'm telling you, only 10% of the project going for Spark. The only reason to solution for streaming. That's it. People asking the question again, online analysis difference, what is the streaming analysis difference? Streaming analysis means, guys, we are taking the live server data on the way of the flow. We will filter and we'll take the result to the client database. Online means, isn't it? We are taking the data to the right NoSQL technology. We will do analysis right normally, but streaming is not like that. We will take live data on the way of the flow into analyze that. Online analysis means we will take into HDFS. We'll do analysis with HBase. But streaming, live server on the way of the flow will be data will be filtering that. That's why streaming analysis. You can take any Flipkart server, you can take any eBay.com server, you can take any insurance server, you can take any finance server. Last 1 hour data, whatever take into my HDFS, I can whatever data live data generating, we can filter in on the way of the flow. We can give the report to the client immediately with the streaming. But streaming source always running live server, guys, not static source. People asking that, can I take the Kafka, can I connect the streaming with the static source? Streaming will never connect with the static. Streaming always live server. The running server, it is connecting with the Spark API. That is one of the component, one of the framework component. Spark is the Kafka. That is useful to connect that. Okay, so these three architectures available to analyze the big data in the world. Okay, now the last 6 months back, 3 months back, I done one architecture for my client. We have completed this project already, and see this. All of you see that. See my screen, all of you. This architecture. Big data analysis, guys, only 4 tiers. Normally, before big data web application, you know that how many tiers architecture? 3 tiers. But here, big data has a 4-tier architecture. What is the 4-tier architectures? First tier, you see the first box from the left side onwards. You can see that first tier is the sources. Second tier is ETL. Third side, distributor. Fourth tier, business intelligence. Yes, big data analysis project, guys, anywhere in the world, only 4-tier architecture, guys. Remember, last tier you seen that business intelligence. I mentioned here account to my client requirement. You've seen that click view. You've seen the last tier, guys, business intelligence. And you've seen the third box. Can you tell me in this 3-tier which is the front of the developer? Please mention in the chat. In this 4-tier architecture, which tier is the front of the Hadoop developer or front of the big data developer? Yes, I'll give the time, no problem. Please concentrate. Please concentrate on the diagram. Big data projects anywhere in the world, we are following the architecture for analysis. That may be offline, that may be online, that may be streaming. We have a 4-tier architecture, guys. Now tell me, my question is that in this 4-tier architecture diagram which I'm showing you, which tier is that is in front of the developer? Which tier is in front of the developer? Which tier is the front of the developer? I don't want two things. Only one you can tell me. Only one I want it. Don't mention the 1, 2, like mention one number. Only mention one number. Which is the front of the developers? Yes, I am seeing the most of the majority people 3. They mention the third tier. They mentioned the third tier, guys. Third tier. Some people mention that fourth. Fourth is a very, very wrong answer, buddy. I'm sorry. Some people mention the 4th tier. It is a wrong, very, very big mistake answer, guy. Big mistake. Most of the people answer that third one. Yes. The third tier is the front of the developer. Yes, the third tier is the distributor, guys, which is the configuration of all the components. It is in front of you. We are working with the right client sources. We are working with the business intelligence, which are connecting to your CDH or your map or Hortonworks. You've seen the diagram, all of you. Tell me, guys, how many sources I am taking from this? Can you tell me in the diagram? Account to client here, my architecture diagram. Can you tell me how many sources here? How many sources? Yes, sources are source repeated, same source repeated. Tell me exact number. Please tell me exact number. How many sources the client given here? Yes. Sanjeev saying that answer 2. Raj saying the 2. Only 2 guys saying the 2. Okay. Remaining guys. How many sources you are seeing that? Don't count the repeated one. Yes. Dilip saying 2. Ram saying 3. Yashwan saying 2. Okay. Okay. Most of the people saying the 2. Yes. Answer is right. Only 2 sources the client given that. One is static. You seen that. Most of the sources you seen that, guys. What data, guys? Static or dynamic? What is the data source? Traditional data, yes, obviously. Static sources, SQL databases, OLTPs, online transactional database client giving the database, OLTP, yes. That is the client giving that. See the last one you seen, observe that. Data grid, the running server, the message queues, server data. Only that layer only we are going to for Spark. Dynamic is only one given, that is the server. Remaining all the data structured data. 90% of the data structured data, guys, in this project. Only the client given that one server and remaining all SQL database. We are using the data ingestion, using scoop. We are importing the data to HBase, HDFS, and analyzing that. Yes, my one more question. In this architecture, what is the analysis components I selected for my project, this project? What are the analysis component I selected for this for this project? Okay. I given this architecture to my client only with the mention of offline analysis. I'm asking you. Very good, very good. Hive offline, pig offline. You observe that Hive scripts, pig scripts offline. People saying that HBase. Here online analysis is not there. Please observe that. In this architecture, online analysis are there or not? In this project architecture, online analysis is there or not, guys? Tell me what type of analysis in this diagram? What type of analysis? Offline, very good. Offline, exactly. Offline, one more. Streaming. Only 2 things here. Not online. Please, people who seen HBase immediately, they are thinking immediately online. Yes, HBase is online, no doubt about that. But in this diagram, HBase I taken as a storage from the streaming data, guys. All right, see that the client given the most of the data SQL databases, SQL plus, you seen that OPIX, CMR, GFX data completely in SQL star place. We are taking to the HDFS and we process with Hive and pig and we transfer to the where? Our required data transfer to where, guys? Required data transfer into where? I process with Hive query and pig. I am transferring the required data to where? DB. Huh? Hive. HDFS. But when you process the data in Hive or pig, right, your results will be stored in directly in HDFS only. But once your output stored in HDFS, we'll transfer the output to the HDFS to where? HDFS to where? HDFS to client. Okay, which client? What is the client mean there? What is the meaning client? Client database. Remember the flow of the project. See my screen. See that guys, industry project flow. When I pull the data from the client source, see that the client given the SQL database using Scoop, I move the data to where? HDFS. I process HDFS data with the MapReduce program or with Hive query maybe, or maybe Pig in offline. But output also stored in where? In HDFS, isn't it? But when you are going to transfer the output to the where, output need to transfer to the compulsory client database, that is 100% should be OLTP. Remember guys, people are trying to connect with the business intelligence ClickView table, not with HDFS directly. First you will transfer your output to the export output to the HDFS client database to, isn't it? From OLTP to we'll connect to the BI to make a reports. That is the thing. 90% of the 95% of the big data analysis, why we are doing? To make a reports. As a Hadoop developer, your responsibility completed. You are transferring the output to the output of HDFS file. You are transferring to the client database. Finish. Your developer responsibility completed when you export the output file to the client database. Then business intelligence consultant guy, he will make the reports. Finish. The BA guy who knows TableView, who knows ClickView, who knows Cognos, these guys will make reports for your required data. People asking that, Venkat, why not HDFS with the BA directly? HDFS is offline, yeah. How can you connect the offline system to the business intelligence? So that's why your output should be exported to the OLTP, the client database. OLTP means what? SQL, isn't it? Don't confuse. OLTP means what? SQL. Then SQL to the business intelligence to make reports. Right, guys? Love you get my point, guys. OLTP means online transactional database RAM, SQL database, RDBMS. Right now, I analyze the data with the Hive query. Yes, I analyze the data with the Pig, I analyze with the MapReduce, but output is where? HDFS, right? So we will transfer the output file to where? SQL database. Yes, we can connect it with the Hive. When you take in the enterprise edition, right? ClickView or TableView, we can connect with that Hive, but not with the directly HDFS. Okay, right now point, guys. So when output file in HDFS, please export the output file from HDFS to the client database, then to the business intelligence, then we'll make a reports. Okay, guys. That is end of the project, guys. The report can useful for the client. I don't care the report what is the use of a report to the client. The client 100% use for the client need report the use to make a decision to increase the business. That's it. If you analyzing any client big data, the required data only, that is for report only, guys. Isn't it, guys? So in this architecture also, I mentioned in this, I analyze with Hive and Pig, the required data we are transferring to the Hive connected with the ClickView. Yes, Hive can connect with the ClickView, not with the HDFS. Okay, now, batch offline, you done it. And you seen that remaining 10% of the project, the message queue, running data, we are taking to Kafka and we are filtering and results we take into HBase and HBase to directly the business intelligence. You've seen the diagram the last tile, data grid server message queue data. We are taking the Kafka and filter and we are taking the result to where? HBase. That is use of HBase here. In this case, in this project, got my point? HBase using for online analysis. People asking the question, Venkat, when I filter the streaming data with the Kafka, why not to the HDFS? Any person will not select HDFS as a destination to store the streaming results. They will take 100% NoSQL technology as HBase or MongoDB or Cassandra. And directly we can OLAP connect with the directly ClickView. HBase is OLAP, online processing database, isn't it? NoSQL technology. That's why when the streaming analysis is happening, The destination will take directly HBase or MongoDB Cassandra. Remember guys, very important. Nowadays project is going to be increasing. Coming futures completely the architecture going to be, you seen that like this. Kafka happening, Kafka doing the on the way of the flow streaming analysis, and it is taking the result to the either to the NoSQL technology, that is the HBase or MongoDB or Cassandra, right? And HBase to directly business intelligence client database to make reports, isn't it? Understood, guys? 90% of the projects only to get reports, but Hadoop will not make a report, Spark will not report. Your output should export from your HDFS to the client database to the business intelligence to make a reports. One more point, guys. All of you. One more point, guys. Right, guys?
Hello, Satya. Hello, Satya.
Yes, can you hear me now? Guys, can you hear me? Can you hear me guys now? Okay now, right? Please mute it, guys. Right, please mute, guys. Guys, mute. Mute that, guys. Please mute. Some people are okay. Himanshu, please mute her. Himanshu. Okay. Right, please. Right, all of you. Can you hear me right? Right. See my screen, all of you. Right. Thank you. Thank you for your interesting, guys. People are very interesting. I'm really very happy to say more subject to you guys. So still now almost 1.5 hour time spending for to listen this subject. Really it is good motivating for me to explain the more subject, to share my complete experience of the subject involving whatever involving the daily duties to explain you. Very interesting. People are still in online without right missing the subject. Right, see guys, we are taking the server data, we are taking the Kafka guys. When the client asking the streaming, definitely the point you need to come to in your mind, Kafka. No doubt about that. The streaming analysis can be doing by only in Spark API, not in Hadoop. That's why I told you 10% of the projects only using Spark. 10% of the work only doing with the Spark. Remaining 90% of the work we will do in Hadoop. No need to go for Spark. Only streaming. So we are taking the server data, running live server data taken to Kafka. Kafka will do filter that. I mean, required will take it to the HBase or MongoDB. Isn't it? Here we will directly connect this to the where business intelligence to make a reports, obviously, which is a very speed. Yes, the streaming analysis will be very faster than online analysis and faster than offline analysis. The live data streaming example, Twitter is a pure streaming application, right? Isn't it? People who has a LinkedIn profile, LinkedIn newsfeed, how many people knows that LinkedIn newsfeed, this is a pure streaming, right? The pure example of Kafka using LinkedIn application. LinkedIn newsfeed is a streaming application. Twitter is a streaming application, isn't it? Facebook also update the status, right? When you update the status in Twitter or Facebook, the status will be updated to your all of your friends in the Facebook account, and that is a streaming. So you can take the any running server data to filter it. What happened in the last 10 minutes back? What happened in the last 1 minute back? The continuous data will take to the HBase or MongoDB. I mean, continuous data not will take. We will filter that. We'll apply the logic here in the Kafka. As this data will not take to HBase. People confuse that. People server will take the, if you connect with the Flume, right? It will take the as is data to the HDFS as is to be. Flume will do that. Kafka is not like that. Kafka is applicable for to write the logic in the Kafka interface. Server generated data, Kafka filter the data, it take into HBase. But Flume is only as is to be taken to HDFS. Flume will not do analysis. Most of the people are confusing that. Flume and Kafka difference. Kafka will filter and take the data from server and put the data to the NoSQL. But Flume is only pull the data as is to be into HDFS. What a point, guys? When the client asking the streaming 100%, I will recommend go with the Kafka. Offline analysis, go with MapReduce, Hive and Pig. Online analysis, HBase. Okay, right? Now see that one more thing. I told you if you done 90% of the offline analysis, right? Projects, I'm telling that. Okay, or online analysis, the purpose what the client wanted, what the client wanted, he want reports. Am I right? But even 10% of the analysis, right, streaming, which are happening in industry at the moment present, okay. In future, maybe after 5 years, the complete project will be streaming only, guys. You remember, after 5 years, after 8 years, the half analysis it will be no more. It completely streaming analysis in the coming future. Okay, streaming analysis. But this streaming analysis, what is the purpose? You will get it to get the reports. Purpose 2. Big data, we are analyzing the data. Purpose 1, if you done offline and online to get the reports. But what is the purpose 2 to analyze the big data? Anyone guess? Big data analyzing in offline and online to get the reports only, to get the required information to make reports only. If you done streaming in online or offline. But one more purpose is there to analyze the big data. Client has a second purpose. The client has a two purpose to analyze the big data. Purpose 1 to make a reports. Purpose 2. Yeah, report will make a decision that will make his prediction for his business. No worry about that. One more purpose. Anyone guess?
Suggestion.
Sorry?
Suggestion.
Yeah, please type in chat, okay? Thank you. And see the purpose 2, the client using that required information after analyzing your big data with Hadoop or with the Spark or, right? After analyzing your big data with Hadoop or Spark, the required information client using for is for application. Guys, see this. I worked for one of the project for this purpose. Reports is increasing business only, Sanjeev. That is the purpose 1. Purpose 2. He want to use required information for his web application. You got my point, guys? Client don't want to maintain the big data as a backend of his application. He want required information as a backend of application. That is the second purpose of the project. He will not use the big data as the backend of his application. It will be very costly. He want only required information, right? Got a point, guys? This is the second purpose. The client, if the client is not using the required data as a report, he can use for his backend of the application for his business. That's my point, guys. Yes, that project also we worked it. See that I'll show you that project. See, guys, here. See this architecture. See my screen, all of you. Please see that this architecture from bottom tier. Bottom. Yes, see, guys. See, guys, from bottom. See the diagram. Observe the diagram from bottom. Don't observe the diagram from top. All of you, please observe this architecture from bottom. I'm repeating again. Please observe this architecture from bottom to top. Don't observe from top. Please concentrate. Please concentrate 2 minutes. I hope you understand, all of you. My purpose 2 point is right or not according to this diagram? The purpose 2, what I explained to you, according to this diagram, did you agree? Did you agree that, guys? Yes. 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 Okay. Most of the people agreeing that yes. Why? What is the need of his data? He want required information to maintain his application. He don't want large data as a backend of his web application. He want to maintain as a backend of his web application. He don't want report. Just take into his web application to the. What up, guys, all of you? That is the second purpose, isn't it? Okay. If client don't want required information to maintain for his application, he want to maintain big data as maintained for the web application as a backend. See, guys, UI, server, isn't it? Tell me, HBase, tell me, HDFS. This is a purpose 3 to maintain the big data, right? I hope you understood. UI server, HBase, HDFS. This is a purpose 3. Can you tell me purpose 3 any application? Purpose 3 application you are seeing every day. Facebook.com this architecture. Facebook.com this architecture, not Twitter. Facebook, FB, eBay, isn't it? Flipkart, Snapdeal, Amazon. Run this application. Why the applications are running very fastly? eBay is not selling one product. Flipkart is not selling one product. They are selling the billions of the products in the website. All the products data storing in where? HDFS. To access this HDFS randomly, we are using what? HBase. To interact HBase server, front page request, UI. Understood, guys? My point. The client, if you want require information, he can use to maintain the application in OLTP. If you want to maintain the big data application, he can follow this architecture. UI server, HBase, HDFS. People asking that, is it possible, guys? In my application, if I put this is correct or right? This is right or wrong, guys? Why? Hive is offline analysis. If you go to ebay.com, if you type the iPhone 6s, it will not searching for only iPhone 6s. It will searching all the phone products. Hive is not random reading, isn't it? 100% online analysis. You can use HBase or MongoDB. Dead slow means it's completely dead. Not only slow, it will be dead. The user will not be wait more than 1 minute to open the application, right? You are entering in Facebook front page, username, password, and immediately in the fraction of a second you are getting Facebook home page. Why? Because HBase verifying that where the username equal to XYZ, where the password equal to XYZ, verifying the particular record only, not all the records of the database. Right or fine? To maintain the big data application running, web application, if you want to maintain, definitely you are following this architecture. You know that Indian Aadhaar application, they are taking the 29 sets of the Aadhaar card data, they are maintaining in HDFS. Yes, TCS doing this project to maintain the 29 states of the Aadhaar card data put into HDFS. If you go to any government office, they will ask you Aadhaar number, they will enter, they will get the complete details about you. The application will be running very speed. Right now, to maintain the logic data, to want to run the application, big data application, definitely HBase or MongoDB or Cassandra as a to interact HDFS randomly, HBase or MongoDB. This is the purpose 3. This projects will be very less, guys. Purpose 3 very less. But I told you most of the projects the client need reports to decide the decision to increase the business. Purpose 2, he want required information for his SOI application to maintain the required information in his web application to store the OLTP. Purpose 3, to prepare the big data application like eBay, Flipkart, right? Other card applications, if they want to store the large data, we'll go to this architecture, right? Okay, guys. So tomorrow also I will take you tomorrow 1 hour session. Tomorrow also same time 9 p.m. to 10 p.m. I will explain you how the people doing analysis, what is the SLA, how much taking the file analysis, okay, right? How much node size, what is the node performance, how the people will decide to or running jobs, how they will schedule that. We'll discuss tomorrow also one more session, 1 hour session, 9 to 10 p.m. Okay, guys, right? I hope you all of you understood, right? Right, guys. Thank you very much. Question, guys. Okay, Yashwant, I'll send you. Don't worry. Okay, any doubts you can send me my email or WhatsApp me. Okay. Okay. Tomorrow also, if you guys join it, if you're free, you can join 9 to 10 p.m. I'll explain you one more important things. Developer regular responsibility, right? The time of analysis, SLA analysis, we'll discuss. Okay, guys, right? So you can WhatsApp me any doubts, right? Definitely I will reply you. If you have any project work, if you want any coding help, if you want any supporting things, you can call me. I'll help you, right? Thank you, guys. Thank you very much. Sure, I'll share you. Good night, guys, all of you. Thank you. Any documents, any materials you wanted, you can send me email, guys. Any materials you want, please send to this email. I given my email ID in the chart. Thank you, guys.
Finally, I'm here. So shoot your questions. This is the only shootout I like. So let's see.
Thank you. Good night, guys.
How are you? Hello. Hi. Oh God.
దాన్ని పట్టుకోరా
In your life till date, Krishna, Pedusi.
దాన్ని పట్టుకో చేసుకో
ఒప్పుకుంటుందా
వేద్దామనే
అది చెప్తానే నెక్స్ట్ పడుతుంది